It's great to be here today. We are Noviki Studio, post-Noviki Studio, and we've got pleasure to be hosting Joanna from Radicals Group.
Hello. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, our today's meeting, we will discuss idea of manifestos, like the our working title is a manifesto.
Yeah, it's like about manifesto into digital environment, and we prepared some special tools for receiving your reply to what's happening on during the Digital Culture Festival and attitude towards creating a manifestos. We will introduce those tools very shortly, but first, yes, we would like to really welcome our super guest. We are not experts on everything. Today we will be talking about data and manifestos and ecology in digital environment. That's why we would like to invite many guests. It will be also the next few meetings. We will have another very interesting persons to trigger the audiences and people to give us some reply. This is what we really would like to reverse the situation of lectures, as it's like experimental format, not giving a lecture but gaining a reply from the audience.
For us, like meeting Joanna was really interesting lesson, how to be more aware about our immersion in technology. So that's why we wanted also that Joanna will join us and we'll talk about her practice through social media, lectures, and workshops.
Would you like to add something,
Yeah,
Joanna?
of course. So hello everyone who is with us right now. So I'm Joanna, and I'm pushing forward. It's a kind of a social movement. It's called Radicals. And what I'm trying to do, I'm educating in a field of technology, but more like from ecological perspective. So I don't know if you're aware, but this video streaming that you're using right now is consuming like massive energy. So everything you're doing online, every click every like you click on your social media channels, every video you're watching, every email you send, it consumes so much energy. So it's good to be aware of that our digital presence is working as a whole ecosystem, and this ecosystem consumes like a crazy amount of energy. So yeah, this is what we're gonna talk today about mostly.
Okay, great. So first we would like to introduce like the first tool. Please share with us the screen of address. We prepared a special application in Mozilla Hub when you can all join us in kind of a virtual studios. You have to type in the URL address, and then you will be able to join into a virtual space. We are all a little bit fed up of all Zoom meetings and watching our faces constantly in the
like talking
heads yeah.
all the time.
So we like escaped a little bit this formula. This is the URL address of application. And we will give you a few moments to feel comfortable in this space. It's probably also present now in the links beneath the stream of our conference. And during a short moment of time, I would like to introduce you to our manifesto, which we created. It's a manifesto about manifestos. And let's go into a virtual world now. And I will give you a short introduction about who, in fact, Noviki, post-Noviki are, and why we are doing that, and what is our main idea. And Jana will join us in a second. So I would like to start with our manifesto. It's a little description of the situation that we are at the moment now. As I said, we create Post Studio, and this prefix post is very important in our practice. Why it is important? Because it describes the phenomenon of exhaustion of certain concepts, such as graphic design, for example. We are from graphic design background, but we no longer feel that this attitude of graphic designers is valid in present times. And this association with provision of certain services in this new reality is also not valid, I think. We act as a post studio, so to everyday project we try to reach beyond defined areas and explore alternative frameworks for design, understood as a research process. We explore also publishing, curatorial, and exhibition practice in post-artistic times. Today, we feel that we live in a reality where this isolation we have because of COVID have become a new collaboration method. And this triggers a lot of questions. For example, we don't know if this growing individualism, which always meant like disagreement and was a form of resistance towards reality, has today become a new form of conformism, in fact, or even obedience of submission to the general privileged discipline of this new normal conditions. We are all, I think, together with many designers and activists, suspended in virtual work and entangled in virtual economy. And we delude ourselves that our planet benefits from it. That's why we also invited Joanna, because I think you are the person to also present us some ideas about the impact of digital environment towards the real analog environment. You know, but without a doubt, we deal with a big catastrophe. This is the first such extensive and severe global catastrophe to take place in the world of development digital information technologies. We would like to have a little bit more critical approach to what's happening in digital culture. This constant blurring of difference between truth and falsehood, algorithms that only suggest content which we agree are not interested in its credibility. We are surrounded by a million pieces of information that are fighting for our attention today. Today we are living in times of paradoxical effect. Access to reliable knowledge and information is gigantic, but access to pseudo or post-knowledge is equally gigantic. We don't react to it because we don't have time for it. We have to deal with next thing, see the next and the next presentation, video. We have to take care of the next episode that is recommended to us but by unknown algorithm. So when we were invited to lead this panel, we decided to reverse the order. We have created two environments. One as a place of documentation of our collective work, a place to share content or comments, comments about the digital manifesto. This is Google Docs that you can also access through link present beneath the surface of the stream. And because we gathered here in a really environment of digital people interested in digital environment, we would like to ask you about your response. What do you think about the present program of the festival? What do you think about manifestos? Do you think it's a good practice to create manifesto, or maybe you think that it's completely useless thing and we no longer need manifestos? And the second space is this virtual space, which is kind of our bubble. This is the space build it up with the screenshots and things we have seen a few days ago in the internet. We put it all together as a big construction. It also touches different problems of shows. It's a showcase also of manifestos that we are constantly analyzing recently. So there you can find a lot of inspirational stuff to think also about what digital culture is. It's like a little bit like a trash, but this trash is extremely personal because it's also somehow generated by algorithms. So we created also this environment to maybe have a personal tour with people that will be visiting this exhibition. And in the later talk, it will be super nice to stand close to each other, to like destroy the social distance in a virtual world and talk with each other, because it's also possible to talk with each other in this Mozilla Hub space. So as I said, it's a space that is extremely private, created with the print screens of things we've been interested in recently. Things we've read on the web about the digital culture. This is our bubble in which we have been stuck for weeks, months, maybe years, and to which we wanted to invite you and to let you create or develop this bubble or destroy the bubble together with us. Maybe you have something interesting, thoughts about the digital culture festival. Maybe you would like to share. Maybe you have some tools that will or would enable us to discuss or to really change our approach to the environment or some interesting issues. Maybe you have some voice to manifest. Maybe you would like to share with us your points of manifestos. Joanna, who is today in the studio, also created manifesto, and this is like super, we can juxtapose her position with our position because we are kind of critical.
I am
We don't know, we don't create manifesto, we still are rethinking this matter, and we, through our practice, also designer practice, met a lot of manifestos that were not so valid after some years of creation. But of course, we all agree that certain manifestos were in fact vanguards of some revolutions. Yes, in the history, it was like what worked like that, that if we really would like to say what manifesto is, they are usually the declaration of breaking away from automaticity of everyday life, and they let go the previous routine. They point out what we have noticed in our life and what we may become. The main component of future are maybe manifestos. This is like an open question. Looking at past manifestos, we can find collective moods and hopes, which once reorganized by the rest of the society served as a unified transfer of power, which with the abilities to start a revolution maybe, or to change the course of history. So a manifesto also serves as a form of demand, conveying specific expectations towards the recipient, presenting a new vision, and confronting us with different way of thinking. It uncovers the process occurring, as it were, beneath the surface of social reality, as such, manifestos can often be compared to artistic activities, typical for critical art, which reveals the truth not seen by the society, recognized by the phenomena, and touches different perspective on reality. I think the main questions that manifestos pose, or attitude to manifestos, or our main questions are, do the manifestos still have the power to steer us from the lethargy? Or do we think they have the power to change anything? Do you think, and this is also, we are waiting for your answer, I mean you as a digital culture audience, do you think that manifestos are still like an open space for new ideas? So yes, welcome our first guest, yes, and welcome during our first meeting. I think we will give you a short ride through the closer look through this our bubble. We connected it with the bubble or the project of Joanna, so we feel more comfortable of like exposing our fields. And yeah,
So maybe I will go to Joanna Island.
So can we start with a solar punk? It's.
I see already that we have some guests here. So welcome in our space.
Welcome.
Yeah, and maybe after your introduction,
Yes,
Martin, if anybody would like to talk, like join us through discussion, you could use your microphone through this hub.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you some background here. Those the screens of visualization of the solar punk. I don't know if you heard about this movement, because today it's really simple to talk about dystopia and like, you know, the future in which the machines take control over us. But solar punk is it is a hope. It is a hope that is showing you how in the future we could use the power of technology to get back to the symbiosis with the nature and live in a world in which we all want to live, which is diverse, which is full of love and freedom. So the solar punk is a hope. It is a bright vision for the future. So those are the screens for the visualization of this how this future might look like. And you know, those shapes here, they are not human-alike, because it's like the idea was here that we're gonna pass this visuals to other artists who could feel them and add something from themselves. So this visualization itself could also be very diverse. So yeah, that's the first. And if we could. Okay, and here we can see on the right, we could move to this avatar suicide. Oh, I think it's more on the right.
As you can see, you know, it's like these islands are like completely transparent. You can
yeah. Okay.
travel through it. It's like they have no materiality.
Okay, and here what you can see, it's a screaming of because I used to have an avatar, and I brought him to life, you know, to do meaningful things, like to educate about the technology and you know, to do something good for you. And but at the moment when I fed him with data about digital ecology, and when he started to realize that his presence in a video format has a negative impact on the environment, he started freaking out, and so he committed a suicide, because he didn't want to be the part of that, because, you know, he was supposed to do something good for us and for the environment. So he basically committed a suicide, and it was always screened on our Instagram.
Yes, because first when we met, we were talking about this pollution that internet is making. Also, I was not conscious that you know, the high attachment, high value of attachment in the emails, or high document transfer.
Or even your Instagram post.
Yeah, there's a calculation that 10 pictures on the Instagram is emit the same amount of the CO2 as 1 kilometer drive by car. So you know you can catch the equivalent, right? So and I think like the source of this problem is that we are not educated in the field of technology. We have no idea how internet works. We have no idea that all these pictures and all the emails and everything that we post online actually store in data centers, which consume like a crazy amount of energy, and that's a huge problem.
And what about streaming?
Streaming, yeah, it's also very it's not good to be honest.
So this digital culture festival is not.
I hope, to be honest, I hope that you're gonna like neutralize your carbon footprint and at least plant some trees. That would be cool if you could do that, because yeah, like for example, like around 27% of streaming of digital traffic or data traffic online is responsible for like the video streaming is responsible for. So it's crazy, right? And people, they are not aware of that. We are like posting everything online. You are watching videos online. You are listening to the music in the background on YouTube. So we don't have like guidelines how to use technology sustainably.
So because now we all work in our house,
Yeah, exactly.
and because of the lockdown, there was a huge news that now the planet Earth is regrowing or like healing itself. It's not completely true, we can say it.
Yeah, because you know, on the one hand, of course, we like reduce our, you know, we not commute to work, right? We work from homes, but still, we, you know, on the other hand, we move so much into digital, and we are not using it sustainably.
But I would like to go back to manifestos and. Because we can put all your ideas in your manifesto, and I'm curious, how did you work on it? Because now it's only in Polish.
Yeah.
We ask you to translate some part of it, and now you can see it via our Google Sheets.
So I've translated some points from the from the manifesto and put them in a Google sheet, so we can Google sheet, and you can I can read them over there. And also I think it's a good moment to talk about Nung, because it's also Can we?
Sure, we can also show the demo video of Nung.
Because maybe work also with some Kickstarters.
Yeah. So maybe first I'm gonna give some introduction, because
so please, can you show the Nung video?
Yeah. Okay. Nung video. Can we?
Yeah, this is a link for our meeting.
Hello, humans. How are you doing? What you are about to watch is not another invitation to support crowdfunding campaign. It is the opportunity to take part in an adventure that aims to bring some kindness into the world around you. I am now loading video about Nung, educational board game that will help you to expand your consciousness and perceive the direction of the world's evolution. Say hi to Nung. It is a game that will teach you how to harness the power of technologies and leverage them as a tool to achieve the Sustainable Development Agenda. Game kit includes cards with 35 technologies, consciously and critically selected. We will not focus on solutions that keep us away from each other and have a negative impact on the environment. That would be a waste of your time. 20 cards that will help you understand the directions that will shape the world in the coming years. Evolution of behaviors, mindsets and geopolitical alignments. United Nations Agenda contains 17 goals that we have committed to achieve by 2030. For each of them you will be looking for innovative solutions in the gameplay, with the help of 34 cards, which have assigned guidelines of system solutions that take into account the interests of minorities, and a proposal to establish positive behaviors change. But this agenda lacks a very important point that would regulate the development of technology and the assumptions of responsibility, equality, and respect for natural resources. Therefore, as another element of the game, you will also get 20 cards with the 18th goal of sustainable development, responsible technologies. It is a prototype of a concept we want to collide with you. We want to draw your attention among others to digital carbon footprint, digital diversity, right to downgrade, dark patterns, and electronic waste. In the box you will also find playing board, instruction, 5 dices, and 10 cards with heroes that will strengthen your empathy skills. The team of cool humans involved in this project also came up with the whole ecosystem for Knowing. It will be accompanied with a learning platform for educators and entrepreneurs. They also want to design for your box, made of electronic waste to store your playing cards. So now please, read the whole story on the campaign page. Back this project, and help bring it to life. Thank you humans, for your attention. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we are
So
back.
maybe you can
Back
say
to the
something
virtual.
about what we saw.
So Nung is a board game, and it's a tool actually that with its help you're gonna know how to use technology in a sustainable way and to use them as a tool that was gonna help us to achieve sustainable development agenda. We've picked up like 35 technologies which are like very conscious technology like DNA data storage and carbon removal technologies, and so we're gonna learn how to use them as a tool, to fight climate change and to make our life more productive.
Yeah, because this is the data storage issue, but also you have an application that cleans out the data. So this is something I'm pointing out at the moment. Maybe you can tell a little bit about.
Okay, so this is it's a Facebook island, and you can follow it on Instagram. And this is the first part, because right now we are raising awareness about the issue of a data that we store on Facebook, and the goal of this project is to give you an access to the tool. With help, you could clean your Facebook profile, because most of the pictures, most of the stuff you keep there is consuming energy, and it's basically waste, right? Like for example, my pictures from my parties which I attend like 5 years ago, and I'm seriously like I'm feeling embarrassed of them. So it's better to forget about them. And it's like because there's a huge trend that we abandoned like Facebook. We want to live with this social channel, but it's good to do it to don't to do it like to do it sustainably, in a way that you just clean up the mess that you left on your profile. So yeah, you can follow it, and it's like those are the scripts that basically just clean your presence on a Facebook.
So this is like one way of dealing with data. You can erase them or clean them. And here we've got I see Jan Zygmuntowski, who has another completely different approach to data. I think our panel is also somehow today connected with data storage and new ways of representing or keeping data. And Janek, welcome you in our panel.
Hi.
You will be talking about data commons in a few minutes, yes, like in the next panel. And we would like to ask you about your attitude towards manifestos, because this Instrat publication which have published a few weeks ago. Yes,
Right. Yeah.
treated the data in a very interesting way. Can you give a short introduction to the problem and what you managed to achieve through this voice of Instrat publication?
Right. So the main perspective that we used to have on data is either privacy, so the Cambridge Analytica scandals, the manipulations, all this talk, and then obviously there is the commercial aspect, so the corporate aspect and business profits. But we see that there is another space. This is the space for manifestos. This is the space for community, for public interest, and since data, their value is unlocked when we have a lot of them. We can train AI, we can take better decisions as society. Then we should just pool the data together, share them in trusted institutions, and once we have these new institutions for the new century, then we can do it safely and giving the best use for this data.
So you've been, I mean, the main idea is to publish the data and share the data that are already stored in the private sector and establish some special institutions of common trust and redistribute the data and make the usage of those data. Yes, this is what you are at the moment working upon. Yes, and
exactly.
What are the results of this activity? Is it promising, or is it? I know that I'm asking you because it's also a question of achieving certain goals, and yeah, it's also not only about ideas, but how you manage to really do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that is what we love about envisioning another future, writing manifestos. It always moves the overtones window. It always shapes our imagination, and then new things are possible. And once we started talking about this, a lot of bottoms-up initiatives happened. A lot of people are doing data cooperatives, for example, sharing data, but also regulators, the EU, hospitals, even in the middle of pandemic, are more and more interested to share those data in a trusted, in a safe way. Yeah, but also leverage the data that the biggest corporations, the big tech has, and just doesn't want us to use them.
What do you think about those issues connected with data biases? Yes? And yesterday we were talking during digital culture about this bias of Twitter, who centered the white person in the center of the cropping photography. It was not like made on purpose, but this was like a very interesting case of how different platforms are overlapping with their possibilities. And we also have this speak or like call of our Pope, Francesco, to take care of those biases. They perceive it as a very important problem. How do you see this problem in terms of this data commons? Do you think this is interesting and valid problem?
I think it might be a bizarre point of view, but algorithms are by design conservative. I mean,
the team of the people who are involved in working on the algorithms, it's not diverse at all. So yeah,
that's one side. But also, if you have 4 centuries of colonialism, of slavery, of capitalism, and you leverage those data and you say, even your algorithm is neutral, still it's harvesting data that's heavily biased. So if you train on historical data, you will have history repeated once again. So we definitely need, that's why we need to control this data, all of us, transparently, but also in like the public interest, to take the bias into account and diminish it as much as possible.
So you believe in creating new manifestos and trying to achieve those?
Knowing that you're writing one, I will gladly contribute.
Yeah, and you can contribute in many ways. I've already noticed there are some new elements pinned in our virtual environment. I'm not processing the Google format.
I think first question. maybe I will read it because you cannot see. Could technology also have a dystopian side to graphic designers? Then talking about generative websites, could this also be a form of criticism of or reaction to our capitalist system?
Yeah, this is, I think, a good point in terms of this newest manifesto written, like, I mean, the Glitch Manifesto, yes, Glitch Feminist Manifesto. It uses this very interesting notion of glitch as a...
It's like now it's been published like 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago.
We have the screen of that.
Yes.
And it's
maybe it's like interesting point of view.
It takes into a notion this glitch visual element as a bag who gives the possibility of escaping this concrete construct of different scenarios. It's like an open gate for escaping. So it's a little bit also connected with dystopian and bag or like error in the system. So it's already something that you don't completely manage to process. Yes, this glitch appears randomly and it disappears. Yes, it's something like you don't have a power over it.
But also, like, I like this critical approach always, and like my personal point of view is very like depressing about technology and the future. But that's why it was really interesting lesson to meet you, Anna, because you've got this more like let's do something approach or
more
like
positive
view of the future, and you really like we can like be critical, but it's also good to remember that we can do something.
Yeah, because it's really simple, to be critical, right? It's the easiest way to do, but it's much harder to propose something that is that is positive, that brings hope.
This is like this manifesto that you now see on the screen. It was like, in fact, the first manifesto that we were familiar with.
It was like we started as a graphic designers, so it's our like.
And it was very important towards graphic designers. It was, I think, one of the most important manifesto after the Futurism Manifesto from over 111 years ago, because this futurism was super optimistic. This one is somehow kind of a response to the development of capitalistic and this hard economy approach, and it gave some promises of improving the world by designers, or like also I think today we can
it was
think
a
about
promise
coders.
of better world.
It was a promise of this new attitude towards technology and art and design, but super fast it became non-valid.
Only nicely designed on paper.
Yeah, because I truly believe that manifesto from my perspective was kind of a seed. And I just I put the seed in the ground and I waiting for the replay. I don't know how it's gonna what's gonna happen next, but it was like just the beginning. And the manifesto I created has an open form, so it's not like it's not something which is done. It's always open, and it's open for discussion, and it's open for development. So, but for me, to be honest, like for me, the real revolution and the real change is hidden in the tools. So I think it's very important if you propose any kind of a manifesto that there should be something more behind it. Not only, beautiful words and wild design, but something that you could give to the people, that you can give them the tools that they can, use daily and do something like to make a real change. Because, words, they are triggering your imagination and triggering your thoughts, but they are actually not giving you anything that you can work on towards. So, yeah.
In your opinion, what kind of impact you can observe about your work?
It's like I really like when I get like message from the people who said, "Oh my God, I never thought about that. My emails like generate CO2, and now I'm going to be more conscious what kind of messages I'm sending to my friends." Or the people who are my best friend, who always have opened like a lot of tabs in his browser, and right now he's like closing them all because he knows that this also consumes a lot of energy. And my friends who's like using the phones in the black mode, because black mode on the phones and on the other digital devices consume less energy. It's like the change starts with all of us. So it's like when I get the message from the people around me, it's like I see that it works. Yeah, and actually something.
Yeah, I've got like a small question for you. If you could say in like one sentence or maybe two, what's your relationship with technology?
My relationship with the technology.
Because it's not like it's more like a relationship now, because we are very close to it. It's like a part of our family.
Yeah, it is. But I'm trying to, keep a distance with it, and
it was really hard to connect with you.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm not using,
especially without phone. Like
but I'm using it as a phone, as a tool, not as a sense of living, and it's not. I'm trying not to have a relation with it. So, and I have a relation with people. I have a relation with humans, and technology is only a tool for me.
What I'm showing it now is like this second Google Sheets with some comments. So yes, we are talking about all those things because we also want to treat it as a trigger for the audience to feel the
yeah, is anybody with us somewhere? Because it's like a little bit lonely here. Maybe you could write something, us.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures appear, and I would like only let you know that this space lasts longer than our meeting. It will be present here for a longer time, and this is also a space for you to contribute and pin some visual elements or comments.
Yeah, here in the hub or in Google Sheets, you can write something for us. With us, there will be also like 2 other meetings.
We also like
Thursday and Sunday this week. So we will explore more ideas, and I hope we will write some more
yeah, we also
about the
heard
manifestos.
That the Berlin magazine Holo is interested in this output, and they will be probably trying to print it out in the paper version. So we will collect all those elements, and we will see whether we will manage to create something with those different voices, this polyphony of voices. But I would also like to, focus a little bit on a manifesto. Question about what is in fact manifesto, because now we see a lot of different types of manifestos. In fact, kind of a meme or like a sticker or like a text could have similar power. Whether it is true, do you think, or like what's your attitude towards the format of manifesto?
I think it's the best way to be a manifesto myself, like to manifest, like the way of
living and
the way of
functioning.
living. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's my thought.
So you are one piece of manifesto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, because I just realized that if you want to make a change, if you want to do something, you have to start with yourself. So it is the best way to to be this change.
Yeah, we are also like closer to be like in this practice mode more than theory.
Yeah.
Okay. So someone agree.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I stumbled upon this print screen. What do you think about that? Because there was like a lot of different way the people responded to our present situation, like the COVID situation. And this question posed in our manifesto also. Do you think that this isolation is a form of what? Or like also like disobedience or like critique, or like, do you agree with that? Because here you can see that two ways of, for example, graphic designers responded to COVID. You know, should we obey all the elements that are imposed on us by the government? By how do you perceive the state of lockdown? In fact, as an activist, you know, what's your opinion about that? That would be interesting to.
For me, it was like a global pause. Like, you know, we have a time, we have a moment to slow down, to stop for a moment, for a second, and just, you know, clean our thoughts and just to redefine what's around us and what's important for us. So from my perspective, the COVID was like a break, was like a catalyst for the change. It's really hard for me to say right now because we, you know, it's still happening. So
now we've got the second
wave. So
do it one more time.
Ask me this question, like, I don't know, maybe at the end of the year, so or next year, because we don't know how long it's going to last. So yeah.
A new commentary. We have new commentary. Yes, no more manifestos.
Okay.
So it's more like we agree, but what instead? This is
exactly
important questions. Yes. Do you have any solutions? Can you write them down for us? If no more manifesto, then what can we do? You know, do you have some special idea or tool to achieve
because,
your?
when you treat yourself as a manifesto, so in fact, it's like you have no choice.
Exactly. Change.
So you maybe no more with like this written one.
Yeah, just no more writing. Just do it and just be it.
So we've got also this form, and I would shortly come back to it. You know, we have some program notes. What will happen next? And because of course you can write some commentary under the streaming. But here also is a place for some posing questions and maybe some ideas.
It will stay with us during next week. Then, of course, we will clean everything. Not
this
to
is
leave this
kind of a way of communicating between the audience and all the participants of.
Yeah, we also gathered here all talks or events. During digital cultures, which we found interesting and which are, maybe you can show them, Marcin, they are on the top here. And so you can see like list of similar events which we recommend. And they are like, maybe, it can be interesting to see them also. To join them. Oh yeah, nice. Checking it. Okay.
It's also about data, yes, and the surveillance of the days. Yeah, we are a little bit of tired of this surveillance data, and we became our own policeman for our kids also, because I don't know if you have seen the social dilemma on Netflix.
I think we all did.
It's already, so I think it's the conversation became public now about that, and I think more and more people are aware of that. What's your attitude towards this, letting or not letting your children to?
I don't have kids yet, yeah. But I think it's because they're growing up in the environment which is like fully connected. They are, the internet is something, it's like the air for them. So I think it's really important to have at least some kind of regulation for them, so they can use it in a very conscious way. like in a way they are not getting addicted to it. So yeah, I think
and the addicted mechanism are already there. And
I know.
But you also cut off yourself from technology a little.
Because you know what, I have a background in a corporation, and I used to be UX designer and a product designer, and I'm very familiar with all those patterns and tools, how they are highly addictive to the people. So. So that's why I decided to not using them, because it's few years ago, like not a few years ago, but some times ago, we treated alcohol as there was like I think like the social media will be like the drug in a few years for us. We'll treat them as a drug. Yeah.
Yeah, and this flattering the line, I think, was also one of the strongest manifesto of the last months. I surely perceive it as a manifesto sign. Yeah, what do you think? It's like presenting two different realities. Yes, this. Yeah, it's about flattering the amount of people that are able to achieve some help from the health system.
Yeah, because
healthcare system.
like without protection, it will go very high, very fast. But it's better. There is this idea that it's better to flat
the line.
Yes. No, you don't know this idea. Okay. So you really cut off.
Sorry, I'm a very analog type of person.
Okay, I don't know. I don't see any question. Maybe we will try to jump into the. I don't know if people have. Yeah, you can unmute, and maybe we can try to talk with someone inside.
If we move closer to someone, maybe Litka, we could talk.
Yeah. Sure, go ahead. Yes, if you can hear us, of course you can ask a question.
Polo Futurism, you have to get close to us, move closer to us, so then we can hear you.
Yeah, I think we should be close to each other. Yeah. Then we can hear you. Maybe we should find you in the space.
And probably.
Sorry, we cannot hear you, but.
Yeah, probably people.
So maybe Martin, say where you are now.
I'm close to the center. I mean, this is like.
We are close to Glitch Feminism Manifesto. This image with the fire.
So I think you would agree with Junior Lanier, yes, about this cutting off from the. Yes, but it's also some kind of a comfort. Yes,
yeah, because recently, my phone literally dead. Was like it's dead, and I had no contact at all. And this time was like at the first. Well, I was scared because I was like, oh my God, how am I going to connect with the people? And I'm not going to have access to the internet, my Instagram profile and other stuff around. But it turns out that I have a lot of space for for creativity for myself and for my thoughts, and it was really cool.
Okay. Government doesn't read manifestos. Corporation doesn't care about manifesto, and we need to create. But do you mean manifestos or what? Or
pressure on them. Those are comments from.
Yeah, I think the pressure is already going from the people who are interested, like Janek. He's fighting super strong to implement new rules with those Creative Commons and common data commons.
People, yeah, like also Joanna, who really.
Joanna is really pushing.
Yeah, we find you by.
Now you have new Kickstarter campaign, yes?
Instagram?
Maybe you can, yeah.
Yeah, I think it. I have It's not here, but I think the link for the Kickstarter is on in a Google Sheet, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
Yes,
I highly encourage you to join and to back this project, because beside you're gonna get a board game beside that. It's like we created like a whole ecosystem for this game. So it's going to be combined with the e-learning platform for educators and for entrepreneurs, and also because I'm very involved in this topic of how technology affect the environment, and I also work a lot. Oh, there's a pole of tourism. I also work a lot with e-waste. Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Fine. Would you like to join?
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, it's fine.
But okay, so I would like to mute Zoom because I hear myself. Okay, yeah, that's weird. So I would like to talk about localizing futurisms, and as you can see, the part of the polyfuturism is Poland. So I was inspired by the idea of ethnofuturisms by Avanesian and Malik that analyze movements like Afrofuturism, Arab futurism, Latinx futurism, and indigenous futurisms. And I felt that Poland needs some kind of futurism, because we are deeply entrenched in memory politics and retrotopias, like Zygmunt Bauman wrote about them. So I've created a little program for polyfuturism that is deeply inspired by the metamodernism, which is, I don't know, a movement, a style, an art style, and political thought to conjoin modernism and postmodernism, which is something like, for me, is the answer for the modern problems. Yeah, so that's it from me.
Okay,
if
thanks.
you would like to write your thoughts on our Google Sheets, it would be great. Do you know the link or?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And how do you define futurism? Like, for me, like futurism is just what's happening now. If we come back a few weeks ago, it was like super past, and today we are living in a future. I think. So when I see all this environment.
Well, I started with Marinetti and Italian futurists, which are problematic for us because, as we know, they were somewhat connected to fascism, and but before that they were like I don't know, pioneers of manifestos. So what really inspires me in Italians is how they used typography and visual communicating.
Yeah,
and,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about this. This call for praying to the driver, the owner of the steering wheel, which is inside the Futurism Manifesto. This glorification of cars and machines, and I think today we are like
violence.
In complete different direction going. Like the cities are changing in completely different direction as we are trying to get rid of cars and all this, like
but
technology.
In other hand, we are deeply in like technology.
Digital technology, yeah.
So
do you believe in manifestos? Still?
Somewhat. I mean, I call the polyfuturism a program because people who read it thought that it's not a manifesto. It has no emotions, and it reads like instruction. So when I read Marinetti, he was writing about roaring cars and exploding futures. So his part into the genre of manifesto was to emotionalize it. And maybe that is a way to move people to move their emotions.
Oh, we have a few ghosts on the stand, like looking kind of interesting. Thank you for your input. Yeah, we would appreciate if you could leave some thoughts, whether in Google Documents
or maybe join us on next meetings, Thursday and Sunday.
Yeah, we will be developing that and maybe reacting also on trying to sum it up and react on what people input is. Thank you very much for your talk. Yes. Oh, you look quite dangerous. Yeah, we will be appearing here and we can give you some guided tours for all those manifestos if you are interested in.
Yeah, maybe you can write us which like manifesto you like the best, or you would like to talk about.
Yeah, here we have like completely different problems attached. There are also attitudes of digital culture towards animals, which we didn't touch this time, or like visual sensing of pictures that are now really growing and like expanding in terms of computational photography and this kind of stuff. I think they are super interesting because they are like changing completely the way we create photography and videos. Yeah, but there is no much time. We have 5 minutes left, so maybe, yeah, we can somehow see if there are some questions posted, or maybe someone would like to. Maybe Anna Schiller, you would like to add something to.
John, he's not with us, I guess.
Yeah. Anna, would you like to close the conversation?
Oh, what could I say? Just someone other thing in the.
Okay, so we are like staying put. So.
What could I say? Are we closing or not? Or
Olivia, here you
Olivia.
are. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, Olivia.
Hello, Olivia.
Hello.
How are you?
We are like. Yeah.
Olivia, you have to turn on your microphone in this application. Because we cannot do it for you. You have to do it by yourself.
Yeah, okay, we have a lot of friends now.
Oh, yeah.
Olivia.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
that's
everything
perfect.
is okay. Perfect.
Hi.
Wow,
Hi.
great to see you and hear you.
Yeah, I actually applied for an internship.
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
Yeah, I applied for an internship.
Where? For who? Like for Noviki or for...
At Noviki.
Ah, okay. So that's a question for you, not for me.
Yeah,
about internship.
I'm doing my master now, and you can see I'm created too, and we're in the same class, and I'm also working around like the digital stuff in our graphic design world. So I think it's important to be with the stuff that you're creating now. So I think it's really interesting with what you created now too, with the how it's called, the interactive 3D website. So it's really nice.
Okay, thanks. But you have to be aware that we are okay. We have like you can also upload some content here, and you can pin it up. So you have to press the space bar. You have to a little bit like explore the environment and these tools. And if you pin the content, it will be also visible after we quit this session. And now we have Anna Despont, to say a few words.
Because we have to finish our today's meeting.
Yeah, it was super nice to have you. Today was like a starting day, but I hope we will go better. And yeah, this is like completely experimental format. So yeah.
One more thing from me, please join my Kickstarter campaign. The link is in the Google Sheet, so yeah, you're gonna love it for sure.
Yeah, check out Jan's Kickstarters, and yeah, we will equip you with the links. And now we will give voice to Anna Despont.
Hi, thanks everyone for joining, and thanks for hosting this session. It's one of a series of three, so I hope to see all of you around. And I also hope to see everyone around for Digital Cultures Festival. And I would like to take this opportunity also to invite you to the next session, and which is happening at 8 to 9 CEST time, CEST time. And it will be also about manifestos in a way. It's a session with Brett Gaylor and Jan Zygmuntowski, whom you've seen also a few moments ago. And Brett, his first film was called The Remix Manifesto. So it's a session about manifestos, and we'll be also following on the subject of data and surveillance as well. So I hope to see you in a few brief minutes again, and for the next manifesto writing sessions. Thanks so much again.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, and see you next time.
Yeah, see you next Thursday.